Hello, this is Lleyton Steinmann,
Taylor,
and Colin, Kayser. Our topic for the 2018 National History Day project for the theme of triumph and tragedy is the rise of the National Socialist German Workers' Party and the upcoming of Adolf Hitler. This is a triumph because Germany rose from its great suffering after World War I. It suffered from paying reparation and the country was in great debt. Adolf Hitler was able to fix these problems and turn Germany into a great power. However, this topic can also be seen as a tragedy. The rise of Adolf Hitler led to the murder and imprisonment of millions of people. During World War I, Germany fought against the Allied powers, which were France, Great Britain, Russia, and Italy. Germany lies between Russia and France, so they had a plan to invade France before the Russian army could assemble, and then they would attack the Russian army. This plan failed because France had fought back harder than Germany had anticipated, and this had put a strain on Germany's forces. Another reason that Germany's plan failed was that Russia assembled their forces faster than Germany had thought, so Germany had to fight off both France and Russia at the same time. Germany lost over 2 million soldiers and another 750,000 civilians due to the war. This crippled Germany and forced them into a depression.
After World War I, Germany was politically unstable, had high unemployment rates, and suffered from low morale. Germany was poor and people needed a strong leader that would bring Germany to power once again. That leader was Adolf Hitler. Hitler fought in World War I as a soldier. Once Hitler returned from the war, filled with patriotism, he started working as an intelligence officer for Germany. During this time, he starts to adopt anti-Semitic ideas from the German Workers' Party. Germans at the time were open to extreme opinions. Using this, Hitler starts to make small speeches for the people. His speeches fired up his audience and made them excited for the future. As a result, Hitler and his party gained an enormous amount of popularity from them. Adored by the people of Germany, he was anointed the Chancellor of Germany and becomes the Führer, the absolute ruler of Germany. This power allowed Hitler to have full control of Germany and made it able for him to save Germany from its suffering.
Hitler contributed to Germany's economic growth. He gave people jobs which improved Germany's economy and allowed for the country to become rich. He made jobs extremely appealing for people in Germany by advertising paid time off, cheap vehicles, and a lower crime rate. Everyone being employed helps Germany's economy because when people make money, they spend money, and that makes the economy grow. Hitler also funded the invention of the Volkswagen, or the people's car. The car was invented to be a cheap form of transportation. This made the people of Germany happy and improved their quality of life. Going along with transportation, Hitler invested in the Autobahn, or in other words, a freeway. The Autobahn improved on traveling long distances and created jobs for people. Another example of creating jobs was when in 1936 an Olympic stadium was to be built for the 1936 Olympic Games, and that project alone gave jobs to 80,000 men.
Hitler's scientists contributed in the advancement of medical technology. They launched campaigns against tobacco, alcohol, cigarette, and organochlorine pesticide. They researched about hypothermia and low-pressure environments. These researches have data that cannot be tested today due to ethical problems regarding them. Hitler and his Nazi party also created youth programs that taught youth to work and become self-sufficient. One of the youth groups was his own version of the Boy Scouts that taught young men valuable skills on how to survive. These were the triumph of the rise of Nazi Germany.
Adolf Hitler is responsible for the murder of over 6 million Jewish citizens, 1 million non-Jewish Polish civilians, and hundreds of thousands of lives who were part of our minority group. Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany in 1933 and became the Führer of Germany in 1934. Hitler had already begun his work of Jewish discrimination. Hitler's extensive propaganda was used to spread the Nazi Party's racist goals and ideas. Boycott laws were formed that fired tens of thousands of Jews from their jobs and banned Jews from universities. This boycott caused a great uproar in other nations, so the National Socialists in Germany, fearing further damage to their economy, quickly stopped it. This provided a glimpse of devastation for the Jews to come. Some Jewish German citizens weren't scared of Hitler's intentions and stayed, while others emigrated the country. In 1935, the Nuremberg Laws were introduced. These laws were designed to take away Jewish rights of citizenship. This forbade them to enter movie houses, public swimming pools, and other public sites. The laws also carried severe punishments for any violation of these rules. Between 1933 and 1938, half of the German Jews had immigrated the country, but for those who stayed, the situation got worse. In November of 1938, an anti-Jewish rampage took place, known as the Kristallnacht. Thousands of Nazi soldiers looted and smashed the windows of Jewish businesses, stores, and Jewish synagogues. In only 15 hours, 101 synagogues were destroyed. 7,500 Jewish-owned stores were burnt down, and over 100 Jews were killed. Not only were these severe hate crimes against the Jewish population, but the Jews were also forced to pay for the damages. The German government fined the Jewish community $400 million for the damages committed against them. In 1938, the Nazis had discussions of segregating the Jewish people. All Jews were forced from their homes and put into sealed-off areas within the city called ghettos. Overcrowding, hard work, lack of sanitation, starvation, and disease killed tens of thousands of Jews. Those who didn't die in the ghettos were ultimately sent to concentration camps where they would be murdered by the Nazis. In these concentration camps, Jews were forced to do labor in horrible conditions, and many were executed through cremation, hanging, starvation, etc. Prisoner of war camps, forced labor camps, concentration camps, and death camps were all part of Hitler's plan to terrorize and control the Jews. During World War II, several camps were set up that would starve, torture, and in most cases murder the Jews. Almost 1 million Jews were executed upon arrival at these camps. Men and women of all ages died every day. By 1942, death camps were established, whose sole purpose was to exterminate as many Jewish people as possible in the smallest amount of time. This was called the final solution and was thought of by Adolf Hitler himself. In 1941, over 1,500,000 Jews were killed by mass shootings and were buried in unmarked graves. From 1942 to 1945, Jews were mass murdered mainly through deadly gas and death camps. The Nazis' efforts of a final solution resulted in the tragedy and murder of 6 million Jewish lives. In 1944, Hitler's German army was defeated by Allied forces in World War II. Hitler was still in an effort to exterminate the Jews while trying to cover up the evidence of the atrocities he had done. From late 1944 to 1945, camps were liberated by Allied forces. The world was in disbelief when it saw the half-starved skeletons and the piles of dead bodies when news came out of the Jews. 300,000 Jews were liberated from the camps, yet disease led many to die even after they were free.